Hello. Alright, we're gonna have to make this one quick tonight. I have this book I want to read, Frankenstein. I want to read another chapter tonight, and it's been in like an hour, so we gotta make this quick. So it'll probably only be in like 45 minutes, probably. No. Anywho, what I wanted to discuss is an idea that I never hear anyone really talk about when I guess just maybe in general. It is the idea that the world is far, far more complicated than you are ever raised to believe. And there is a case, I think, and you might hear this with sort of like people who there's been a movement of people wanting to like dumb themselves down, or I hear people talk about like returning to the way things used to be, or returning to like a period before the internet or something like that, where we aren't so tapped into global geopolitics and we aren't so tapped into the nature of reality and the universe and all of these things. It just feels like information overload. And truly, I do think there's some precedent to that. I do think that's a pretty valid take. But I think part of that might just be the fact that we aren't prepared to know that by the way we grow up. When I was growing up, at least my generation, Zoomers, it felt like the world had already been conquered. We were at the end of history. Everything had been solved. There was no racism, no war. Everything was good. 9/11 was the last terrible thing that ever happened. And then since then, we got the black guy who's the president. Everything is perfect. That was the lie I was told growing up. I was essentially told like, oh, we have science figured out. There's nothing to explore. The entire world's mapped out. The oceans are mapped out. The universe, we figured it out. Like, everything. Math solved. Everything. Religion solved. Perfectly done already. Every single venture I thought about as a kid, I just remember thinking like, well, there's nothing for me to even discover because everyone's already figured everything out. And I don't know if that was just because that was kind of the vibe I got, or maybe the vibe they wanted to sell us, or maybe that was just my limited understanding as a child. But I never really grew up with that sense of wonder, that sense of like, there's so much for me to explore, there's so much for me to find out, so much for me to learn. It all just felt very pointless. Very pointless. Everything just felt so pointless, and I was never really told about how genuinely complex life is. Every single day there is just so much complexity that goes into it. Just existing as a human being on a day-to-day basis is a really complicated thing. It truly is. And I don't know if it's like I was gonna say just like some autism or something. I don't know what it is, but I think probably the opposite of autism. But like just social interaction in general, or maybe it is. Maybe that's what autism is. Being just hyper aware of. No, because autistic people, they don't. Well, I guess it's a spectrum. It's a hard thing to nail down. What I'm thinking of is social interaction is so complex. I can get how autistic people struggle with that. And shoot, I struggle with it. I think a lot of us struggle with it. Just everybody does. And so especially in a world like today, man, I can only imagine how much more difficult it would be for someone who has a hard time picking up on maybe the smaller social cues of things. There's so many rules, so many like taboos, so many just things that aren't usually done. It feels like you're trying to play a game within a game when you're just trying to interact with somebody. And just existing as yourself, just being yourself, I mean, that in itself is a whole philosophical like study. Essentially, the idea of the self. I mean, that's a fucking rabbit hole, and like, oh my god, it's so much. And so I can get why people want to just blind themselves to it and say, it's not that deep, doesn't matter, um, whatever. And there's the like, or the bell curve, right, of the people who believe at one end, the people, the dumbest people and the smartest people believe the same thing, and the people in the middle, the midwits, overcomplicate it. Where am I going with that? I think there is a little bit of truth to that, because when you get far enough into something, you kind of like loop back around in a lot of ways. You loop back around to just a simple truth that is sometimes just completely evident. Yeah. But yeah, I can totally see how people like, if you are someone who's stuck in that level where everything just feels so overwhelming because everything is so complicated, and there's all of these rules and all of these things that are happening and all this stuff that's wrong and out of place, it can cause so much anxiety. It does for me, at least, when I get too wrapped up in who am I, what am I supposed to be doing, and I notice all of my like negative thought patterns. I talked in my last video about the ego and it attaching to, like trying to protect you by either making you feel better than someone else, or making you feel better than someone else. And excuse me one second. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh, you fucking ruined it. I'm kidding. But yeah, the ego trying to make you feel better, or to make you feel good, trying to protect you. And where was I going with that? Right, I struggle with that because it feels so complex, like trying to notice all of the negative thought pattern that you might have, and all of the ways in which you might be messing up, or what have you. And trying to correct it feels like I'm on a fucking sinking ship that is just like you're fucking throwing water out of it, right? It just like there's always more that keeps popping up, and as soon as you tackle one problem, here's 1,000 more, and whatever. There's also the pressure of the world and all these things that are completely out of your control. I get why people want to just dumb things down and go back to it, and in some ways I do agree with them. I think our current world has gotten, not in terms of like science, but in terms of like a few different other assets, we'll say, things have gotten a little too complicated, and it might be better to just dumb them down a little bit. Make them more straightforward, working on a smaller scale things down. Just in general, I'm a big fan of like just community, local, allowing for people to do their own thing, allowing for people to work on their own things, build their own things, tend their own things, repair, the right to repair, allowing the people within a place. Democracy has its flaws, absolutely. And do I think it's the greatest system ever? Absolutely not. But neither is sort of anything we have. But you gotta kind of work with it, or change it. And that one too. Anyways, I said this video was gonna be short. What am I even talking about? Good question. I started this video talking about, I don't know, man. I'm trying to remember. The thing is, when the camera's on me, it's like there's pressure to be like, oh, everything needs to be good and right and whatever. No, bullshit. I'm just gonna keep fucking flowing. anyone who actually cares. I mean, nobody actually watches these, right? So it doesn't even really matter in the first place. These are more for me. I honestly like them as just like a practice of just like talk. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Allergy season. I like these videos as just a way to talk and practice talking. Yeah. Oh yeah, talking about throwing things down. Yeah, I do get where people are coming from with that, and I do understand the whole bell curve thing. Yeah, my advice is, it's not a bad thing to like. Well, yeah, right. I was talking about how the world, right? I don't think we're properly prepared for how complex the world is, right? I think, especially when I was growing up, we were just locked in this bubble that everything's already perfect. You have nothing to grow, nothing to gain. When in actuality, we couldn't be further from the truth, and that kind of stagnated a lot of people. When the education system claims to know everything is correct already and claims to have all the facts and treats all of these things like theories and hypotheses and the history that has been placed in our textbooks, or the official timeline, there's just nothing for anyone to be wondrous about. And then you get conspiracy, you get people who would say, hey, I'm gonna go do my own research. You get people who which is good, first of all, but I don't know, an education that tries to inspire, an education system that tries to inspire more than it tries to indoctrinate, I think is a good thing. We should be building people that want to learn for a lifetime and grow for a lifetime, because that's what human beings do. We constantly grow, we constantly change, and our education system should teach you that you are meant to grow, you are meant to change. And it should teach you how to just be a human being, how to do life. Well, be a human being, I guess, is probably a bad way to phrase that, because that can really get into indoctrination real quick. It should teach you what we understand about being human, and about, well, kind of just the stuff I was talking about, right? Life is complex, it's ever changing, and you're going to face all of these different problems. You're going to face, in school, how do they teach you how to deal with feeling like you don't have a concrete sense of self? In school, do they teach you about your ego and about talking down to other people? Do they teach you any of that? No. They just say, be nice. Being nice is something that happens when you are healthy and you're already full of light and goodness. It's a natural byproduct of it. Anyone can pretend to be nice. We got a lot of that. We got a lot of people just pretending to be nice, a lot of people faking it till they make it. We need a lot of people who are genuinely full of light and fire and happiness and are healed from the things that hurt them. I mean, why? We know how to do these things. We have all of these ideas. We have all of them. But you just lock them behind what? I mean, they're not even locked up. We're in the age of information. The thing is that nobody has the time or the passion or the energy. I mean, we're like most people growing up, they kind of just assume they know everything already, and they kind of just. I mean, another thing I've learned as I've grown up. Really got to cut this one short soon. And I always thought this was weird, but dude, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. Everybody has an opinion. All of them might be wrong. It's crazy. I used to take people's opinions pretty seriously, or listen to things people would say. I still do, obviously, but I find myself genuinely, and sometimes it's a problem, and I feel like my ego kind of gets in the way, where I will not listen to another person at face value whatsoever. I will need so much. I will need so much to build trust with a person before I start actually believing anything they say, and I'll instantly start trying to pick apart the things they say just online or whatever. If someone tries to give you any amount of information, my first immediate thought is to question that information. And I think that's a healthy thing. I think that's a healthy thing. I just say my ego gets in the way because I start to think, oh, I'm better than this person because I have all of these, this knowledge or whatever. Yeah, nobody fucking knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I'm probably super wrong about a lot of stuff, right? Probably super wrong about a lot of stuff. But at least I'll admit it. And even then, I try. I don't like saying stuff like that. I don't like saying stuff like, oh, because I feel like that's ego too. Like, no, at least I'm better because at least I'll admit if I'm wrong. Like, no, that's just the truth. I'm probably wrong about a lot of stuff, but do I think I am? At the same time, no. I think that's the healthiest place to be. You have to question everything, your own beliefs included, because if they can't stand up to that scrutiny, then why do you believe them in the first place? So many people just don't do that. And when we're taught a history or whatever that is just stated as this is the blanket fact, this is what happened, we know this for sure, you cut that off. And especially, I mean, the education, like, it's just not even education, it's just throwing fucking facts at you, and people just don't even understand the information. It's terrible. The education system is something that upsets me very deeply, which I can get into more in the future, and I'm sure I will. But for now, I think that should probably be the end of this video. What did I even talk about? Let me think one more time. Okay. We talked about I was thinking this morning, actually, one more. I was thinking this morning about how I was making these videos. And I was thinking about all the pauses, and I was like, I should just start fucking doing that when I'm talking to people. Like, who cares, Dude, I feel so edgy, by the way. Like, I don't know do I always, like, is my eye always covered by hair? I never noticed that, if that's what it's really like when people talk to me. Maybe this might be a good practice for me to understand what I look like when I'm talking. But anyways, I was like, dude, why don't I just, like, the thought just came to me. I was like, why don't I just pause more when I'm talking to people? Like, I know, like, a 1 second pause is supposed to be, like, a good trick, but, like, dude, why don't I just take, like, 5 to 10 seconds to be like, hold up, let me retrace my thoughts for a second and actually formulate a good opinion, as opposed to just word vomiting at people. Because I'll say some dumb shit that just is literally not even in my wheelhouse of whatever. And sometimes it can go a little too far too. Like, I'll be sitting in my own head, like, trying to think of stuff to say, when in actuality I actually need to say something, right? But I don't know, a blessing and a curse maybe. A lot of people just talk without thinking. And another thing is that I'm trying to get better at, like, small talk. I want to get better at it, because, like, I used to be someone who's like, oh, I hate small talk or whatever. Like, I would rather have a deep philosophical talk. But it's like, I don't know, man. Small talk is good too. Like, it's nice to just talk about simple stuff. Like, not everything needs to be super. It's like the Jaden Smith. Why don't we talk about the socioeconomic state of the world? Like, bro, no, I'm good right now. Actually, I don't want to talk about that. I'd rather talk about fucking mug root beer. Mug empty or full unopened mug root beers. I've noticed I drink a lot of sodas in these videos. Dude, this is like the only time I drink. I drink like 1 or 2 maybe a day. Anyways, and they're always 0 sugar. I don't drink that shit. I am not holier than thou. Okay, we're 20 minutes in. I gotta shut the fuck up. Dude, these videos are just so fun though. Like, it's just so fun. Okay, so what I want to say is that the world is full of excitement. It is full of stuff for you to learn. It is awesome, but don't take it all too seriously, and do not let yourself get wrapped up into it and turn yourself into like a pseudo-intellectual where all you can think about or talk about is just the most important stuff. Because no matter if you are a genius and you are Albert Einstein and you can sit and talk about quantum mechanics for hours on end, or if you are just a peasant farmer dude, your lives are equally valuable and your perspectives are equally valuable, and you should easily be able to have a conversation about something that isn't the most deep, complex topic of all time. And if that a topic arises, then you should be able to cover that too. Yeah, not everything needs to be, the socioeconomic state of the world, or what's the meaning of life. It can just be, do you think ghosts are real? It's a beautiful day we're having, isn't it? Why did you choose not to do this certain thing? Whatever. Small talk. And, yeah. Tell me a story. I don't know. Yeah. Something I'm working on. And, I genuinely think these videos might be helping me. Hopefully. POV, you're on a first date with me. What do you think? I just start rambling about this shit for 20 minutes. I did have kind of a date with a friend. It wasn't like a date. It was just like we were just hanging out, but it was a girl I was in. It's a whole thing. But we talked for like 3 hours, just at a coffee shop. I was like, damn, that was really fucking nice. Like, I don't get the opportunity to do this. In fact, I just never do. I mean, I don't go out partying at all or anything. Dude, if I was at a party, oh my god. There's somebody yelling outside or something. At a party, I'm just talkative. That's just what it is. I'm talkative, and I like to dance. And, yeah, I think... Sorry, I'm talkative. What can I say? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, go explore the world. Shit is just... There's so much to learn still. There's so much to discover still. We don't know everything. There's still so much to be found, so much to be created. As soon as you start to believe that everything has been created and nothing can be created, there are literally an infinite amount of things that could be created that you could create. So go out there, make some art, talk to people, love everyone. And, well, I guess that's bad. That's bad advice. 'Cause it's hard to love everyone. Find yourself attuned to things that are greater than you. And I think that will lead to you having more love for other people. What I'm trying to say is just like my chosen belief system of following Jesus has sort of led to, I feel as though, really natural faith creating work, and I can see a big shift in myself from before and after. And I feel like a lot of people, as soon as they get that relationship and that spiritual sort of connection, and for me, man, okay, we're getting too much into it. Another topic for another day. I have so fucking many of these videos I could do and talk about. So thanks for helping me prepare for all my first dates, for all the girls I'm going to scare off, or the girls I'll talk to for 3 hours. Hey, come on now. Alrighty, thank you everyone. You have a beautiful night. I'm sorry I took up 24 minutes of your time. I meant this video to be like 10 minutes long. Okay. Go explore, go create, go love, go do something fucking cool, go do something simple and stupid and fun. I love you. Goodbye.